I'm making this video for Matthew McConaughey. He wants to see my face. I don't know why it's saying I don't have no audio, but I think I do. He wants me to describe what's happening in his trial with Camila Alves. I did an interview with him brain to brain, and basically she's displaying these very vulgar, lustful, disgusting pictures with that she alleges is sex that she's had with Matthew McConaughey, and he tells me brain to brain that, like, when one picture she has her legs apart with a giraffe's penis penetrating her vagina, while Matthew's clone was penetrating her mouth with his penis. Um, and she's making love to elephants, tigers, crocodiles, and preferring animal sex to human sex, though she favors the Matthew clone for oral sex. And then they're also doing this type of sex called, I think it's called bukkake. And this was something that happened in the Laurie McBride Brent Spiner trial. Jesuits seem to like bukkake. I think what that is where a bunch of men ejaculate onto somebody, and apparently they're spraying their semen onto her and the Matthew clone, and this is part of their sexual life together. Matthew McConaughey is just totally disgusted by this. This is not the way he makes love to a woman. And I can tell you from my brain-to-brain experience with him, it's not how he makes love to a woman. Because Matthew is a born-again Christian, they were not able to do the switch-out technology with him like they did with Brent Spiner. In the Quebec trial, they were able to do a switch-out with Brent Spiner. And how that works is when they can actually switch out a person so that the bottom half of the body is the clone and the upper half is the real person. So, and this can be very frustrating to a person. So what happened with Brent Spiner was they put the clone in the bottom half of his body where his penis was, whereas so Brent's brain was saying, I don't want to go to the bathroom to have sex with Laurie McBride, but the bottom half was controlled by the clone. So the clone took him to the bathroom, even though he didn't want to be there. And he ended up having sex with Laurie McBride when he didn't want to. That's why he was crying when he was masturbating in the Quebec trial. If you listen to Terrence Jenkins, he made a YouTube videos of the trial, and he described Brent as masturbating and crying while he was masturbating because Brent was, he was in love with me, and here in this trial he's betraying me by having sex with Laurie. But actually what was happening was the bottom half of his body was taken over by the clone. The Jesuits have this technology where they can switch a person out with their clone and even do a partial switch out where the upper half of the body is the real person and the bottom half is the clone. And they did that to Brent Spiner, and he was devastated. And if I didn't have faith in him and believed in him, he probably would have committed suicide. You say, well, how could you believe in him? Well, he was writing passionate love letters to me, and I knew he didn't want to do this in the trial. So I knew that wasn't the real Brent Spiner. Fortunately, Matthew McConaughey is a born-again Christian, so the switch out has not been happening in this trial. However, what the Jesuits have been doing is when Matthew's not around, Camilla's been making public appearances with the Matthew clone, and this even happened at the Oscar ceremony, where they were on the red carpet together, and that wasn't the real Matthew McConaughey. That was the Matthew clone with her. And all comments by the clone saying that he's had sex with Camilla, that's from the clone, because Matthew hasn't gone to bed with Camilla. He's been in love with me since 2005. So, but anyways, at this trial, she's making love to elephants, tigers, crocodiles. You say, how's this possible? it's really wild. It's like you might think, how could an elephant penis fit into a human um, vagina? But I didn't see the pictures at the trial, but Terrence Jenkins described them to me. And he said that he really believes that the only way it could happen is the flesh had to be injured. And so this is like violent animal sex. It's not love, it's lust, it's bestiality, it's so they were doing bukkake, that where you spraying semen on people, and Matthew threw up. He actually vomited when he saw these pictures because they're so against what he believes a sexual relationship with a woman should be. And because when Matthew makes love, he likes to use his body to express depth of feeling, passions, commitment, over lust, vulgarity, and brutish sex, which is what was displayed in this trial. And Camilla's claiming that this was Matthew who had this sex with her, and this goes against everything he believes in. Every woman that Matthew McConaughey has had sex with, and this is with my interview with him, brain to brain, I asked him, I said, I need to ask you some questions because he wants me to make this video about the trial. He says every woman that he's had sex with is like marriage to him. He bonds with the woman emotionally, spiritually, and intellectually when he has a sexual union with her. So for Camila to portray him this way just goes against everything he believes in. In a loving sexual relationship with a woman. He is a tender but passionate lover. That's been my experience with him in brain-to-brain sex. And Matthew McConaughey wants Terrence Jenkins to be the judge in this trial. And I have a personal request. If this video is being aired at the trial, can you let Terrence Jenkins be the judge in this trial? Because if you put Terrence Jenkins as judge in this trial, he will put it up on videotape. I think the world deserves to know what Camila Alves is really like and what Matthew McConaughey is really like. And it's just not fair to Matthew that everybody thinks that he and Camila have a normal man-woman relationship when it's not normal at all. And I request that Terrence Jenkins be the judge over this trial. This is what Matthew McConaughey wants. Can you all do this for us, please? Terrence is a fantastic judge, and could you put him over the trial? And maybe he will make a video of it and put it up at YouTube so the world can understand this is a very important trial because Camila Alves is a Jesuit, which means she's a very dangerous woman, and she's probably going to end up being executed. And I think the world deserves to know why we have to do this. Okay? I've noticed that all the men on my marriage list really respect Matthew McConaughey, and they're getting behind him now. These are men like Gerard Butler, Hugh Jackman, Brent Spiner, Vladimir Putin. And that's because he's a macho guy. He's noble and honorable. And so they're all getting behind him. And I'm going to read you the letter that he wrote me at churchofgail.com. And that's why I've made this video for him. He said, the pictures were so sick and twisted. You're hearing things loud and clear, Gail. This is probably asking too much. But could you make another video telling the world about the disgusting things that are happening in this trial? I really wish Terrence was the judge in this trial. And I'm going to ask you if you could switch out judges and let Terrence be the judge. Matthew's going through hell with this trial. He's already vomited just from looking at these pictures. And you know, it's bad enough that he has to go through this. And he never wanted a relationship with Camila Alves. And in the other video, I explained that he's playing a Jesuit game with her because she threatened to harm me if he wouldn't play her game. And he says, P.S. I wish I could see your beautiful face in the videos you are making. I miss seeing you in your videos so much. Thank you for your love. And you're welcome, Matthew. And thank you for your love. He's number 3 on my marriage list after Brent Spiner and Vladimir Putin. And an awesome guy. Awesome guy.